There was an optical format war that resolved itself, that roared and then resolved itself pretty quietly in 2008. The Blu-ray won.
The format war, not awesome. The fact that we finally had a standard.
What was the HD DVD? Was that it?
Yeah, otherwise known as the Xbox 360 disc recalibrator, which is all it was good for about 6 months later.
Yep.
That was a hard time.
What do you think? Like, it was a vicious format war for a long time. You would go into a store like Target and have a big Blu-ray section and a big HD DVD section.
Which was red, like red versus blue.
Yep.
And even though Blu-ray won, there were millions and millions of HD DVDs sold. And like, I wonder, like, where are they? Like, are those just sadly sitting
there is
on
one
someone's...
sitting in my parents' house somewhere because I made the choice and I chose wrongly.
Oh, that's very sad.
I know, I felt real bad afterwards.
The external 360 player is sitting in the cabinet over in the lobby. You can still go spot one over there. But I think format wars are frightening. I remember the VHS and beta thing, and I didn't think Sony was going to pull this off because Sony's proprietary formats, most of the time, they get so wrapped up in expense. I mean, this was part of the reason the PS3 was so expensive for a while, was they insisted, it's got to have Blu-ray. It's got to have Blu-ray. People are going to want Blu-ray, you know.
And it turned out to be a brilliant business decision.
It worked. It did work. I think they might have pushed that a little too hard, but they won the format, and now they're making money on it.
Well, and now it's a gorgeous, it's been interesting to see it's kind of not mattered since everybody just streams everything now.
And we kind of all sort of could see that at the time. Like, this isn't going to be a generational thing the way that, DVD or VHS versus Betamax was. But, yeah, I mean, because, of course, it always came down to money, and you had certain studios that were in, like Microsoft, and I believe Toshiba, some other sort of hardware manufacturers, and a couple studios were invested in HD, but then you had Sony and some other folks on the Blu-ray side. Blu-ray is technically the superior format in the sense of it was a 50 gig capacity per disc, and I believe, if memory serves, it was 35 gigabytes for HD. So you kind of had that playing into it, and it's just it almost became a war of attrition.
Yeah, I thought Sony was going to lose when I heard the adult entertainment industry came out behind HD DVD. I thought that would decide it. But again, streaming changed that marketplace as well, and that was less important. I also think that it's good that we have Blu-rays to this day because there are certain things that are never going to be released on streaming services, particularly some of the special feature type stuff that we used to associate with DVDs. It's sort of become a boutique product. It's the only way to watch Grindhouse's theatrical cut. Thank God for that.
Well, what's interesting,
do
you guys, I mean, I don't know, again, if you haven't watched a Blu-ray recently, I actually hadn't, and I watch movies all the time, but I just don't think about how I'm consuming them. I stream them. And I put in a Blu-ray the other day, and after streaming something for, a year, it was
having to use a menu was hard, wasn't it?
But even streaming in HD is not the same bitrate and the same clarity and the same color. Like, Blu-rays are gorgeous, and after watching HBO Now and watching Netflix and Hulu, for a year, going back to watching a movie on, it was actually The Dark Knight. Watching The Dark Knight on Blu-ray, I'm like, wow, I need to watch some more movies on Blu-ray.
As Otacon said in Metal Gear Solid 4, Blu-ray is amazing, Snake! So we have that too.